Hi everyone, welcome to Fall Festival. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far and I'm so excited to be here. I am showing you how I have made my bra quilt. I know it sounds a little funny, but I am really happy about it and the way it turned out. The reason why I was doing a bra quilt is because of it's being October, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I have known a lot of people who have recovered from breast cancer or who have passed away from breast cancer. And it's a really special quilt for me. I have been so excited to share this with you. I have made it downloadable, so don't worry, you don't have to pay attention to every single detail, but please refer back to this video if you ever need any help. There are 4 styles of bras on the downloadable, but I'm only gonna show you how to do one today. They are pretty similar, so it shouldn't be too difficult to switch from one to another, but let's get started. Okay, so things you'll need. You need a ruler, comfort cutter. I like my comfort cutter 60mm. It's my favorite. I will always use it forever and always. Make sure you have a pencil and then your fabric cut out. There are 4 parts to piecing a single bra. So you have the top part, which is here. So this is gonna be the straps. Then you have the middle part that combines the cups, and that is just, I don't even know what to call it, but it's just the middle part. And then you have the 2 cups. So let's start with the 2 cups. I have chosen these fabrics because I love them and I think they're fun. So this is gonna be the actual cup. So this is whatever you want your style to be, this is what you would want to pick as the biggest fabric. So we're gonna make sure that I am doing this right. So it is measured at 8 by 7.5, and you want the 8 side, so the height to be 8. So make sure you have that, and we'll also put our other stuff over here, and then we'll have our square, and this is going to go right on top of it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a line from the top left corner to the bottom right corner. Gonna make a line so it's easy to sew. Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna line it up with the top right corner, and then I'm gonna pin it into place. I usually only do 2 pins for this part. I do one on the top, and then I do one on the side. All right, now the fun part. We're going to our little rebel, our new 13-inch machine. It is so exciting, and I am so happy that I get to show you guys how I used it for piecing my project. I'm gonna make sure that everything is lined up, and I'm gonna do a 1/4 of an inch. So for this, I am just gonna sew directly on the line. Let's get started, let's start sewing it. The 13 machine, it's so nice because it's so smooth, and I am really able to line up with the line as I am sewing. And we are done. Okay, so that looks great to me. I'm gonna clip the threads, make sure we flatten it out. Everything's looking nice. I really like this. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna fold this over, and we're just gonna finger press it. I actually brought a foot height gauge because I think this is a great tool to help get those fine lines when you're pressing just by hand. You can press with your iron. I strongly suggest it. I just don't have time to show you guys that on camera. But finger pressing also works great, so don't worry about it if you're not gonna use your iron. Okay, so now that's finger pressed and everything's set, we're gonna fold it back over. I'm gonna grab our ruler. I'm using our 3 by 13-inch ruler. I love this ruler. I think it's the perfect size. And I'm gonna do a 1/4 of an inch cut. I'm gonna grab my rotary cutter and put off the gauge, and we're all set. So this is our excess. We can just put this off to the side, and then we grab this again, and we're gonna make sure it's working. Ah, this is perfect. This is a great job. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back for that. Now I'm gonna show you how to do your background piece with it. So this is the cup, and with the background piecing, that's what's really gonna shape it for us. So I have all of our different cuts, and I'll make sure that they're labeled on this downloadable so you aren't guessing anything. So we have our big square. This one's gonna go right here. And we're gonna do the exact same process. So let's get to it. Go here, let's mark. Let's place it over here. Pin. Now off to the sewing machine. Pull it up. Clip threads. Now right here, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna fold this over, make sure that we finger press it. I'm gonna grab the height gauge. Looks good to me. I'm gonna fold it back over, grab our ruler, and do the same thing. 1/4 of an inch cut with the seam. Put that to the side. It's getting somewhere. I hope you guys can see it. If not, you'll see it in a minute. Now we have our tiny squares. Our 2 big squares are actually gonna go on this side, and our little square that we have is gonna go right here. Okay, now the pieces are all sewn. I've taken out my pins. We're gonna cut. Make sure you finger press. Okay, here is our cup. We are gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. It's just gonna be a little flipped, and I will show you that now. Okay, so I have finished the other cup. This is how the sections will be. I will sew these, and I'll sew these, and then once it's done, it's just like regular piecing. I'm gonna sew this up, and then I'll show you the final project, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so now that the bra is finished, we're gonna take it on over to the frame where my big quilt is gonna be. So let's get to it. Okay, everyone, we are back and we are ready to quilt. So I've talked a little bit about how I decided to do bras for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I am so grateful that I've had this opportunity to do this. I think it has been a great sentiment to me. And as we quilt, there are going to be special things that I put in the quilt to remind us of those who have had breast cancer or those who have passed away from breast cancer and all of that. I am using the Evolution hoop frame right now. I love this frame. It's super sturdy. It helps me with any of my projects. I can lean on it and I don't have to feel like it's gonna curve in or change my stitching in any way. I also love the features of our quilt clamps in the back, of how it rolls, and it doesn't sit on the throat space. That is one of the biggest things. I'm also using our 19X Elite. I use it every single time I can. I think it's just my favorite. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I decided to quilt this the way I am quilting it. With every project, I try to rotate all the different types of quilting and make sure that I am doing all of them and getting familiar with all of them. And I haven't done ruler work in quite some time. So I decided that this is the perfect quilt to do ruler work. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of ruler work, and then I'm also going to be doing a little bit of free motion with calligraphy. And the reason why I'm gonna do calligraphy is because I have asked coworkers to submit me some names or send me some names of those who they know and love who have had breast cancer or who have passed away from breast cancer. And I will be writing their initials in the cups of the bras. I think this is really special. I think it's a token for them, and I think it's just a good way to remember them. And I know I've had a lot of people who have impacted my life who have had breast cancer, and it's really important to me to make sure that we always remember them and always to have them with us. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I have decided that a while ago, and I am so excited to get started. I am going to do ruler work, and I'm gonna use more of the open space. So on this side of the bra, I'm gonna be doing up downs with ruler work, and then on the middle, I will be doing a little bit of lattice work, so diagonal stitching. And then for the rest of it, I'm gonna be doing stitch in the ditch. So for ruler work, the things that I need specifically for me, I love our 3x8" ruler. It is my favorite for ruler work. It's the perfect size, and it doesn't hit your space whenever you're in it. That is probably my favorite part because it's super easy to control, and it gives me a little bit more comfort that I know it's about the size of my hand, so I can have full placement on it. I also have a ruler base that is under here. Strongly suggest getting that when doing ruler work, just because it provides a better area and it holds the fabric in place while you are quilting. Then last, need scissors. Scissors are the most important part because you need to pull your bottom thread. We don't want our bottom threads getting stuck. We need to just make sure we pull the bobbin every single time. Okay, I think we're ready. I think I've explained everything so far. I'm first gonna do a stitch in the ditch on this side. So I'm gonna pull the bottom thread. I'm gonna be grabbing my ruler. I'm gonna be putting it right on the side. Make sure that I have it in place. I'm gonna do a couple of stitches just to make sure my stitch is held in place. Okay, so I've just done a couple single stitches, and now I'm ready to get started. I'm doing precise mode. Precise mode is my favorite mode when I am doing free motion, and I'm doing an 11 SPI. I think it's the perfect spacing for this quilt especially. And then of course I'm using our finesse thread, gray thread, and I'm using a little pink color. It is the same color that I used in our piecing. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. So I'm using my ruler to help me keep a guide. I'm making sure I'm going slow, and I'm making sure that I am stitching right in that ditch and a little bit off to it. Okay, and the best part about this is I've placed this in the right mode or in the right setting, that it actually stops me right here with the ruler base hitting the end, but I have gotten my full section here. So I think it's perfect. Now I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna quilt probably 1/2 inch. I'm just gonna eyeball it, and I'm gonna quilt a little bit up this section. And then I am going to keep quilting until my quilt line is hitting the 1/4 of an inch section on my ruler, so that I know I'm having the equal spacing when I go up and down. So I'm gonna move it so it works. So I'm gonna continue. And I'm making sure to go slow because I want to be in the right spot every time. And when this happens and I run out of room, I stop the machine and I move the ruler up and I realign it, and I make sure to keep going. Okay. I'll say I did a pretty good job there. I'm pretty happy with it. So let's move to the side a little bit. And we're going to repeat the same process. So I'm going to line it up about 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to make sure that this is going to line up the entire way down so I'm not missing anything. And we just go. And I hit it. Perfect. Okay, I'm feeling pretty happy about this. Ruler work is one of the fun things that I love that I can practice at work. If find it very satisfying because it works out almost every time, especially if I am going slow and paying attention to it. If I'm going a little faster, I can say that some of my projects have not been the best in that area. So I make sure I'm coming up. Awesome. Okay, move it over a little bit. And then line it up. And then I'm gonna come back and down we go. Okay, I think I'm gonna be able to fit one more line in, and then I will stitch in the ditch on this side, and we will be done with this section at least. Awesome. Okay, and then I'm just gonna come all the way down, make sure I'm lined up. Okay, I think I did pretty good. I will say that is probably some of my best ruler work I've done. So I'm happy that I'm showing it to you guys. I would like to know actually how many people have done ruler work and whether they have done it using Grace products or if they've been doing it with others products. I would really like to know because I think it's interesting and I would love to see how many people love ruler work as much as I do. Okay, so now after you've pulled up the bobbin, I have gone ahead and actually already clipped my threads and I pulled up the bobbin again. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna travel stitch. I'm gonna do a couple single stitches to make sure it's locked down. And I'm gonna travel stitch right across here. And then I am going to move up and stitch in the ditch on this side of the bra strap. All right, so now we're up at the top. The way that I am going to make sure that I am in line is to use this corner point on the quilt. I will show you when I get to it on the smaller camera just a little bit, but it's where this intersection has. And I'm gonna line up this spot to here, to that corner. So I make sure that I am in a good angle and I'm gonna use this line as the middle line to go and go from there. So let's get started. Okay, and then when I run out of space, I'm just gonna use the line and I'm gonna make sure that I am still there and continue all the way. Awesome. Okay, and then I'm gonna travel stitch up. I'm gonna use the 1/4 of an inch marker on the ruler again to make sure that I am in an equal spot. I'm just gonna make sure I line it up all the way and we're off. After you have your first line, it's so much easier to use that line as a guideline. I keep saying line, I apologize. But it's a lot easier to use it as a guideline for where your next stitch is gonna be. And okay, and then we line up again. right, awesome. So I feel pretty happy about this. I think it's in a good position. And now I'm going to go ahead, since we are out of time, and I know it's so sad, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the cross stitch the other way. So I am going to move across the top. And right there. And same thing. I'm going to use the middle part of this line as my guide, and I'm going to make sure it's all lined up and everything. And I am going to start. Okay, once I'm here, I'm going to readjust. I did move a little bit, which I should have stopped my machine, but it's okay. And we're there. Okay, now I'm gonna move my machine up just a little bit, and I'm gonna repeat the same process that I've done. I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna use the 1/4 of an inch marking to make sure that I'm lined up. And we're set. Okay, and there you have it. That shows us a little bit more. I'm going to pull my bottom thread and I'll show you a little bit. I will go and show you guys the finished project when I am done with it. But I am so happy that you guys joined us for Fall Festival. I hope you're loving it. So here's a little bit. This is a little teaser. This is gonna go on the entire open space, and it's gonna be on every single bra, and then we're gonna have the lines on the side. Okay, I hope you guys are loving Fall Festival so far. This has been so fun for me, and I love sharing projects with you guys. If there's any suggestions for projects, please let us know in the comments. I would love to look at them and get some more inspiration from them. You guys are the best, and I am so glad I got to be here today and be a part of this lovely community. You guys are amazing, and have a good rest of your Fall Festival. Thanks!